It's the Center Fantasy Football Podcast.
Welcome to the party, pal!
Yes! Yes! Yes, this is my favorite part of the game.
Analyzing all of the league matchups week to week.
You can't win!
Get him a body bag! Finish him!
It is a bit above average.
I said this sucks, and basically so do you.
And discussing the boom, bust, and hidden gem players throughout the league.
We ain't found shit!
What the hell is Brett Favre doing here?
I'm in town to play the Dolphins, you dumbass.
Dan Marino should die of gonorrhea and rot in hell. Laces out.
Touchdown!
And here's your host,
Allow myself to introduce myself.
David Harbatkin. Hello and welcome to the Center Fantasy Football Podcast for semifinal week after quite a wild card round. I'm your host, David Harbatkin, joined by the commissioner of the league and, coach of the Hackettstown Hagglers, currently scouting for 2020, Mr. Gazaletsky. What?
What are you doing? Are you stir frying? No, there's no stir fry. I'm just unpacking.
Jesus. Well, that leads us to our other person. He's literally been on vacation for his bye. Coach of the, I would think, somewhat nervous Hackettstown finest.
A little bit nervous. I was a little bit pissed off on Monday night, but I'm happy now. But
all right, well,
we'll see.
Welcome to the program.
Thank you. Nice to be back.
So, going over these wild card games, I see that the third place and fourth place teams won. So really nothing. So everything went to plan, right? Just as expected. The top four are in, and nothing out of the ordinary, right?
Well, the sixth place team should have beat the third place team, and that pissed me off. But
I am being quite facetious about this. I mean,
despite the sixth place team being my nemesis, they should have won and had to face you instead of a wounded Blues team.
That's why we get the first place. Yeah, this was quite a game. I would venture to say that this was not only, I mean, obviously this is the best game of the year. I think this might be one of the best games in league history, if not center history.
Definitely the best fantasy game I've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not even close.
I mean, what even comes close in center history to this? I mean, first of all, you take the history of these two teams. These were these were the first finalists, in a championship game ever. They meet again in the playoffs. Nick and Jamie coming in on a hot streak. Whalers, basically being at the top of the league the entire time. Then you have Nick and Jamie just putting up 180.24 points on Sunday. And Whalers just got to stare that down with Wentz and Ertz to go. And that's it. And Wentz only had 2 point some odd points by the half. And then ironically, Nick and Jamie, who came back against the finest in a second half of the ages, a couple weeks ago, to completely reshape the landscape of this league. Because I would be playing the Whalers this week if that wasn't the case. Actually, I wouldn't be, because, well, I mean, that was maybe I would be. I don't know. I might have been losing to Nick and Jamie. But instead, he comes back, and this is, mind you, he had 2 bench blunders on this. Had he played Deshaun Watson and Singletary, this wouldn't have even been an issue going into the Monday night game. I mean, well, it would have been. I mean,
if he didn't have that second half for the ages, you would have been playing Nick and Jamie this week or in the quarterfinals.
I would have,
but would have been 9-4.
Well, I would have been 9-4. No, I would have had the same record. It's just you would have had one more win.
Right.
And you would have been in first place, and then I would have been in second. Presuming everything else went the same. Otherwise, had I lost to you 2 weeks ago, then I would have been playing Nick and Jamie, and it would have all been...
I mean, I would have been playing Nick and Jamie had it not been for Tyler Lockett putting up a goose egg.
Yeah.
I mean, so...
Yeah, everybody dodged a bullet here, except for Nick and Jamie, who could have beaten anybody almost any week of this season. So, but I mean, ironically, the team that comes back like that ends up losing with the Whalers coming back. And not only that, so he has to come all the way back. The game goes to overtime, and the Eagles get the ball. They're on the what? They're within the 5-yard line. The only thing at this point that could win it for him, because he needs the twofers. He needs Wentz to throw it to Zach Ertz for a touchdown in order to win it. Because they could just kick a field goal. It's over. Nick and, nice effort. Go home.
Not with the overtime rules. They needed to score a touchdown.
Oh, did they? I wasn't watching
that.
game.
Because they had the ball first.
Well, they could have kicked the field goal and tied.
Yeah, and then had a defensive stand and then won the game.
Yeah, whatever. Either way. So they need the touchdown. But for it to go to Ertz at the back of the end zone there, to get him exactly 0.26 points over Nick and Jamie to win. I can't even, first of all, I can't even imagine the range of emotions that Whalers must have been going through this weekend. I mean, I would have been. I know you weren't there, Manny, but Geese, do you remember when the Giants beat the Patriots the first time after the Tyree catch, and then he throws it into the end zone, and then Odwin just like rips off his shirt and starts jumping around?
Yeah.
Like that, I almost picture Whalers being like I would have been running out into the street screaming like a mad, like just out of sheer elation, like just run out. I can't even imagine. I mean, and to have one half where you're just demoralized. He had to be demoralized. I mean, he kept posting about this is my current mood, whatever. But I mean, he had to be sitting there going, really?
Yeah, against a pathetic Giants team, I'm gonna lay an egg like this.
And he's a Giants fan. But yeah, so he doesn't have the Giants to root for, and he's gonna, so the one time they has to root for the freaking Eagles, and this is gonna happen, and then to have that, I mean, when he saw that touchdown, I'm telling you, he must. I don't know. He must have jumped out into the streets. Just, I would have.
I mean, the craziest thing is that Ertz on that whole drive in overtime, he didn't touch the ball once.
Yeah.
So that was the only possible play that could have happened that could have won him the game, and the yardage had to be correct too. I think it was like from the 12-yard line, or
no, it was from the. I was like from the 4. I think it was from the 4.
But if it was from the 1, would he have won? No.
The passing yard.
It would have been damn close because, well, yeah.
2.5 yards? No, it's 2. We're talking about 2.5 yards, right?
Yeah.
Right. 3 yards.
3 yards. 3 yards. So if he got one more yard on the run, then it wouldn't have been the same. I swear to God, these Nick and Odwin. I'm just going to call you out for a second. I asked them if they wanted to come on the podcast tonight. They said no. They're both working. They're literally just blowing up my phone, texting right now about nonsense. Ridiculous. You people are ridiculous. Anyway, no, literally, had he been from anywhere else to any other player, that whole thing, the whole comeback, the everything. Doesn't happen. And I'll be completely honest. I saw the first half. I was getting an oil change. Was watching the game. I left. I went home. I saw I watched a little bit of it, and then I'm like, you know what? I'm going to the movies. I went to the movies. I come back. I see the Dewey Beach, Truman thing, and I was like, what the hell happened? I couldn't believe it. I mean, because he was down by 40 points or something at the half. It was something insane. I mean, I did say to him, I did say in one of the posts, I said, well, I mean, Wentz does have to come out throwing in the second half, maybe, I mean, but I was not really, I didn't really believe that. I mean, it's just,
Yeah, this is really a once upon a time kind of moment.
Yes,
Really
Booger.
is.
Good one.
Nice one, Booger. Welcome back.
I mean, all right, so let's go through some of these numbers. So for Nick and Jamie, 34.54 for Tannehill, 17.8 for Galladay, Ridley, 18.6, Henry, 23.9, 19.4 from Freeman, Higbee, 18.6 points, 20.4 from Pascal, 9 from the Tampa Bay kicker, and 18 from his defense. The only one that didn't get double digits, and it was by 1 point, was his kicker. I mean, that is absolutely insane from some of these players that, and you say, like, oh, whatever. I mean, look, Nick and Jamie wouldn't have done this the next week. I mean, they have great weeks and then they have not so great weeks. I don't know. I mean, my team is completely hobbled. We got destroyed in this bye week, so I don't know. But Ridley is now on IR. Henry's questionable. Freeman's questionable. I don't know. I don't know how this would have turned out. I mean, we'll see.
Nick and Jamie just find a way to perform well against good teams.
Yeah.
They lay an egg against every sub 500 team, and then once they play the Whalers, the Finest, or the 1603ers, they just go crazy.
Oh, they had a crappy game against me, and it was only because they had a crappy game that I was able to win. It was like 90-7, and that was like the week that Lamar Jackson was out.
So they play to the level of the competition.
Yeah,
I feel.
As do we, except unless they're below us, in which case we play horrifically, which is why I'm going to lose this week. Yeah, so for the Whalers, okay. So Wentz ends up with 23.9 points. 30.4 for Thomas, 21.8 from Allen Robinson. I mean, we were laughing at him when he was offering this guy in trades.
Yep.
I mean, what do you say now? 19.4 for Melvin Gordon, 27.6 for Mixon, 30.1 for Ertz. He ends up with Lockett only 8.3, 6 for Tucker, and 13 for the Minnesota defense. And mind you, with the bench blunder of Deshaun Watson with 32.8 on the bench and Singletary with 17.8 on the bench, he could have had over 200. He might. I mean, would that have even set the record? It might have set the record in a playoff game. I mean, it's just an absolutely unbelievable performance. I mean, what other game compares to this? Just in center history. I think, given the history, given, the fact that it's a playoff game, I mean, you have to remove every regular season game unless it was last week of the season, and I mean, what compares to this in center history? I know, Manny, you have a very limited view.
Is this the second closest matchup in Center Bowl history?
In the league? No. I mean, there were other closer games, but I mean, they're during the regular
season. Mine was .12. This is .26.
Right, but I mean, obviously your game against Zamunda, despite it having implications, is not the most exciting game in center history.
No,
I'm sorry.
Not. And we didn't each put up 180 points too.
No. I mean, in terms of just the what was it, stake, everything else, what even compares? Maybe the championship game between the Hagglers and the 1603ers. Maybe. I mean, it didn't have the score, but I mean, it was a close game. Came down to an Eagles Monday Night Football game. I mean, maybe.
Yeah.
What?
I guess. I mean, you'd have to go back to a BHL game.
I mean, but even what in the BHL? I mean, maybe Sorrow's upset against you, but that wasn't even the February 5th game with the broom on the door, although that ended up being a disappointment. Maybe Minor. No. I mean, maybe Minor against you in a Game 7. When he didn't he win one in overtime of Game 7 against you, the 13th championship? I don't know. Whalers go to bhl.20.net.
Besides the Thrilla in Manila, which was a joke.
Right.
This one was over. I gave Whalers zero chance to win this game.
I know.
Yeah, I was praising Nick and Jamie on the Facebook group. I was like, way to go, amazing victory, and then this happened.
I was all ready to face Nick and Jamie. All right, looks like this is what we're doing. I
was ready to face the Blues.
In other words, get to the championship. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, Whalers has to go from just the depths of despair to now. I think he's the favorite to win it all. I honestly do.
Yeah, I mean, it depends if your guys can get healthy before the championship game.
Sure. And I mean, it also depends on certain matchups this week. I'm not handing him the championship by any means. Every time we've tried to hand somebody the championship,
I think this weekend the projection is 140 to 138, so it's going to be a tough game.
Yeah, it's going to be a close game, and the projections are never exactly right. But we'll analyze the game, which I've briefly looked over it, but I don't know.
Yeah.
But I mean, at least in his mind,
I mean, like, well, if your guys get healthy. Barback's guys get healthy, he can win the championship. And he's like, I'm going to win the championship. He's like, well, maybe Whalers will win. You guys are forgetting there was another game. There is one more team to talk about. Where we just gave Lombardi no chance.
0.
I give him a chance to get to the final. I actually give him a very good chance to get to the final. Winning the whole
other team in the playoffs. If we're gonna, are we even gonna bother talking?
I don't know. I've had enough of the complaining.
Yeah, he's already trying to. He doesn't like the free agent bid time now that's set by Yahoo or whatever else. I don't know. He wants it Thursday morning so nobody has any time. Everybody has to scramble at 8 a.m. for their Thursday night game. Like, oh crap, who did I get? I need to put him in the lineup now. Just because one guy didn't get an MRI on time. What? I don't even understand. Whining from the beginning, whining to the end. That's why he's gonna make it. He's gonna make it. I'm telling you. Yeah. It's gonna look. You know the 1603ers history. You know it. We always fuck up. We were the first place team to not win the whole thing. We're going to be the first place team to not even make the finals. I know it. I see as the injury reports kept coming in all day. Westbrook is now questionable. This guy is now questionable. Oh, the one guy that you need to be questionable and out, he's actually going to play. So the $19 you spent and could have spent on Laird, no. Instead, he's going to go somewhere else. It's all disgusting. Yeah. No, I don't know what. I don't know where they hand out your banana peels, all of you. They handed them out to Keys. The banana peels are flying in the playoffs whenever the 1603ers are in it. It's ridiculous.
Laird was fair game. He was fair game. I picked him up.
He was fair game. I didn't have more because I spent all of it on Washington who I had to drop. I thought you guys were going to go for him. I didn't think anybody was going to go for Laird. I don't even think that Laird is that good, by the way. I just need an RB2. I mean, I picked up Thompson, who I wouldn't have otherwise picked up. So
Laird has very easy matchups to finish the year. The Giants.
He's also, yeah, I know. He's also the Miami Dolphins running back. I won't go on the Laird train yet. Maybe. I'm not saying that he's not a bad pickup. I wanted him. I'm just saying. Let's hope that you're pinning your hopes more than a phone bill.
If I had Devontae Parker, for these last 2 weeks, he would definitely be in my starting lineup.
Would he? Because he's also questionable, by the way.
Well, if he's healthy.
Yeah, we'd love them all if they're healthy.
Well, I like them injured as long as they're not on my team.
Yeah, of course. Rooting for injuries, although you're rooting for injuries on your own team. Sorry that your guys remain healthy.
Just the Browns, just to clarify, just the Browns.
I hope whichever Brown you put in there gets injured mid-game. That's the karma that kind of comes around. You got the injury. Congratulations. You're playing in the bronze medal game. Against me because the Blues are going to win.
The perfect time for that injury to happen was the bye week.
I know.
But fucking Cincinnati didn't do the bounty gate.
Instead, no, but the Patriots are doing the spy gate. So instead, all of my players got injured, and I didn't ask for any of them to be injured, including my quarterback.
The ESPN guy Scott Van Pelt said it right. Do you think the Patriots are really spying on the 1-11?
Yes, I do. They spied on the 4-10 Jets.
Yeah, they deflated balls.
11 Bengals. Come on.
Absolutely,
they deflated balls against the Colts when they were already up 28-3.
Yes, absolutely, they are absolutely. Come on, this is their exact MO. They literally said, if you get caught, for the last one, before this even came out years ago, they said, if you get caught, just say that you're working for a production company that's filming for some bullshit show we have. And what's their excuse? Lo and behold, oh my God. They're like, oh yeah, we were just filming. I have no idea. In fact, let us just delete the footage. Wouldn't that be convenient? Give me a fucking break. They absolutely did this. 100%.
And Belichick knows about it. There's no way.
Absolutely.
It's like the same thing with the Penn State thing with Joe Paterno. You don't think he didn't know that that guy was raping kids? I mean, of course he knew.
Yeah.
He knows everything that goes on there. When you say that we don't knowingly cross the line, that means you do cross the line.
He knew. He absolutely knew this was going on. There's no question in my mind. No question. They should suspend Belichick for a year.
I agree. That's what they did with...
Suspend them for taping the Bengals?
Yes, because he did this before. Look, I wouldn't even care, but he did this before. He did this too. So, I mean, like... What? He did this before. He did this, Mangini used to work for him, and he said, you know that thing that you do to all the other teams, that's fine, just don't do it to my team. Which just shows you what a scumbag Mangini is, by the way. And then Belichick basically said, go fuck yourself, I'm going to do it to you anyway. And he did, and then Mangini said, okay, well then I'm going to tell the NFL on you. And the NFL knew it was way worse than they even imagined, which is why they destroyed all the tapes. And now he goes ahead and does this again. No. And why wouldn't he do it? First of all, this is a first-year coach. He wants to get his tendencies so he knows stuff about him if the Bengals ever get good. It's such a convenient excuse. He is so dirty. It's ridiculous. He is what my reputation is in this league. Except I don't believe I deserve it, but whatever.
Why would he have someone go there to tape their sideline the week before they're playing them?
I know.
That's another thing. You know?
It's the Browns versus the Bengals. Why? No, he absolutely is. And by the way, who do the Patriots even have? They don't have any tight end. They as usual have grocery store baggers as their wide receivers 1 and 2. Mm-hmm. They have nobody on it. It's these little edges that they get. Like if I know all your calls, then I can beat you. With the C-Town crack whore. I can if I know exactly what you're calling. I could probably draw up a scheme to beat you.
I mean, I don't know if you watched that Chiefs game. That their offense is pretty anemic.
Yeah,
pretty bad. Like I wouldn't be starting any Patriots right now. Thank God I don't have any of them. But
I try to avoid them, and I try to avoid teams that play them because I know how they cheat. I wonder how this will affect it. Actually, did they get the signals? Did they see the signals? Do they know exactly what the Bengals are going to call them next week?
They're going to kill them 35-0.
Oh, I know. And then they're going to say, see, we didn't need it. We didn't need it.
Right.
Plausible deniability. Nixon did the exact same thing. He won the election, I think, 49 states to 0. You didn't need Watergate. He still did it. It's these paranoid fucks that are like, I don't care how much we have. I still am insecure, and I still need to cheat. And he's one of them.
What's happening with that? Is anything actually going on with that?
I mean, they're investigating.
Investigating? If they erase the footage, what is there to investigate?
They didn't erase it this time. They got it.
They got what? They're filming the hot dog vendor put deli brown mustard on a hot dog.
They're filming the sidelines, getting the signal.
I think they were in a Bruins jersey or something,
or whatever it was. They're filming the sidelines, getting their signals. I mean, they showed the thing where, in the Super Bowl, where Belichick was, it was like some special teams playing. Belichick's like, where's McAfee or whatever? What's the coach? McVay. Where's McVay? Because he knew that when McVay is standing by, the offense, they call a special punt or something. They're not gonna fake the punt.
Uh-huh.
Little things like that. Ah, he's so dirty. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, see, I just like to blatantly trash talk. I don't like to deceptively create controversy and like cheat, you know?
Me neither, although other people have a different perception of me. What the fuck is this? 16 text messages, and the last one, haha, yup, Tiger Bomb is the truth. What are they talking about? They said they couldn't come on because they're working. How is this work? Dear God.
You're getting worked.
I know. It's so ridiculous. Stop blowing up my phone so I can at least look at the fucking game without something coming, Tiger Bomb is the bomb. Whatever. I don't care. So stupid. But yes. I mean... And what do you? I mean, Nick and Jamie to go to. I mean, look at this. First of all, they got dubbed the garbage barge. They started 1-6, 1-6. They came back their last. What is that? 5 games. 1-6. No, there's more than that, right? So it's 7 games. Yeah, it's 6 games. Their last 6 games, they went 6-1.
It can't even be said that Nick and Jamie choked. It was just a game of the ages.
Yeah, I know. They did not choke.
No, they did not choke.
No. I mean, they didn't
Absolutely
choke.
not.
No, they put up a 180. What are the chances the two teams, and the same two teams, the only teams that are playing that week, put up 180s?
Yeah, I mean, both those scores are probably in the top 10 in the, like,
For the
highest
season.
scores in center history.
Well, I mean, they're close
Right.
in the top 10. Yeah, I mean, I think it was 194 before this, so you know, yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, I mean, talk about a roller coaster ride for Nick and Jamie.
Yeah, I
What a
mean,
season.
and to be, I know, and then to be sitting at home after. I mean, they have to be distraught. They have to be the other end of the. Like, what are they like? Do they just go under the covers and weep? I mean, I'm actually more familiar with the emotions that Nick and Jamie must be going through than what Whalers going through. Except, I mean, what does Nick and Jamie say? I mean, they played their absolute best lineup. They could not have milked out more points if they tried.
No, and the fact that Tannehill and Henry, you know, turned it on. I mean, that they really saved his season.
Absolutely.
Playoffs, those two guys.
Absolutely.
Those from Tennessee.
Absolutely. But even besides that, I mean, to go play Pascal, I mean, like, just to know all these players, to go get them to go do that, and then to play your maximum roster that gets you 180 points. I mean, like, yes, they have to be sitting under their covers weeping, as I would be for months. But at least they can sit there and go, well, I didn't make any mistakes. I actually played the perfect game. I just got beat. I mean, that at least is some cold comfort, I guess. I mean, because it's way worse if you second guess yourself. Like, if Whalers would have lost this game, it would have been way worse because he would have been sitting there thinking, why didn't I play Singletary? Why didn't I play Watson?
I mean, he was also down by 50 points going into the Monday night game. So at that point, it's like, I lost, you know?
Yeah, but then you get a little bit of hope as it goes, you know, as it gets a little close. Like, wow, one more.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah,
I mean, he probably, I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's just a roller coaster of emotions. You're like, all right, I'm dead. Well, maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm not.
If he was in Nick and Jamie's shoes, up 50, and he had those two people on the bench, then I understand being completely heartbroken. But
I still would be heartbroken if, you know, I mean, I guess, because it would have been what? That last play netted them, 13 points? So I guess it doesn't look as close as, you know, if that's how the game ended and he didn't go to Ertz, then it doesn't look as close. I mean, even though it would have been just as close. But I mean, yeah. I mean, I can't. I mean, honestly, the best game I think the best fantasy game that I've ever seen in terms of everything. Just the fact that it's the wild card, that somebody has to go home after this game.
Yeah.
Lombardi must have smashed his wine glass by now. Are we ever going to talk about him? There was another game, by the way.
Fine, we'll get to your buddy Lombardi, your favorite.
Yeah.
I mean, we could talk. Worth talking about?
It's not even that I'm not even in the mood to talk about him. It's just Wakanda keeps blowing up my texts still with the bullshit about, I don't know, somebody's running a marathon. I don't give a fuck. I'll say this, the burger and beer I had at the end was by far the most satisfying meal I've ever had. Oh, really? That sounds like really difficult work.
You should read the whole text thing on the air.
I should. Instead of, in lieu of covering this nobody gives a shit game, I'm going to read text messages from Nick and Odwin. No, I'm kidding. I won't put you through that. So yes, there was another game. The rematch of the previous week. Except this time the Blues wins the important one as they topple the Wakanda Panthers 122.32 to 91.86. Well, if you want to talk about bench blunders, Drew Brees on the bench with 50 points is a bench blunder.
I mean, it still wouldn't have won the game.
It wouldn't have won the game because of Alshon Jeffrey. He would have needed to do that, and I don't know, not play any of the rest of this horrid lineup. What's going on? I mean, he had to play Bilal Powell because Le'Veon Bell was bowling. He did tell me today. He told me something like, I guess Whalers offered him Michael Thomas for Le'Veon Bell. Maybe there was somebody else in the deal, and he's like, man, I should have taken that. That would have changed, first of all, the Whalers game, and that would have changed his game. And it's true. But he didn't. He's seen the videos. He's down. Just to let you know, Odwin is down to see the videos, whatever he's
It would have
talking
changed my game next week, too. If I didn't have to deal with fucking Michael Thomas and deal with Le'Veon Bell's bowling game.
Yeah, so it changes everything, especially for these two teams. All right, so... All right, the 122. By the way, I actually did set my lineup to see, what I would have gotten. I mean, I didn't pay as much attention as I would have on a normal week. Obviously, like this week, I'm going to be an insane lunatic looking at everything. But I set a lineup and I was like, let's see how it goes. And I still would have beaten the Blues 125-32 with all of my players going down mid-game, including Devontae Parker getting a concussion right away, and Rashard Penny going out in the game. With all of that happening, I still would have beaten him by 3 points. But whatever. Which is going to be extra frustrating when he beats me this week, which pisses me off. But anyway, so Mahomes gets 16.92 points against New England. He had the hand injury, which is promising. Metcalf got 13.8. Deebo Samuel with 15.9 points. He's actually been good lately. Aaron Jones with 31.2 points. Carlos Hyde with 9.8. Andrews, the tight end, with 2.4 and an injury. Keenan Allen with 13.3. His kicker got 10, and the Baltimore defense got 9. No bench blunders over there. And then for hockey, 37 for Garoppolo. So it's not really even that much of a bench blunder. It's just that, it could have made a difference if Alshon Jeffrey decided to, unlike Aguilar, play. 14.5 from Kupp, 0 from Jeffrey. Ingram gets 10. 10.8 from Bilal Powell, 4.7 from Jack Doyle, 1.9 from Sony Michel. Myers, the kicker, gets 6, and the New England defense gets 6. So, I don't think he could have. He didn't have another wide receiver that he could. I mean, I get 6.9 for Randall Cobb. Would that have made? That wouldn't have been enough. He just didn't have enough. He just didn't have it. Just didn't have it. I mean, I guess maybe you do that. You put in Ty Montgomery. I don't know. Whatever.
So this guarantees a new champion.
It does. There will be a new champion this year, and it will be. I mean, look, fittingly, there have been 4 teams that were, there were the 1%, the 4 teams that were up there all season long, who had clinched it 3 weeks in advance. And then there were all the upstarts fighting for scraps just to get into the playoffs, trying to back their way in. Some of them, like all the ones on this podcast, trying to figure out how many games in a row can I lose and still make the playoffs. But none of them, not a single one of them, ends up in the Final Four. The Final Four are those 4 that have been there all year. So I think, and it ends up exactly how the standings put it. 1 versus 4, 2 versus 3. So things theoretically worked out until, of course, Lombardi beats me this week in the most frustrating game of my life. So, yeah. I mean, look, hand it to the Blues. He ended up with 4th, even though he scored less points and I have to keep saying this, than Eugene did this year at 11th place. He still managed to get wins. And he ended up in 4th place with a 9-4 record.
He's been at the top of the standings the whole season.
The whole season.
Even like you and me, we've been kind of like, 6th seed, 5th seed, and then we had to work our way up.
Yeah.
But he's always been there from like week 1.
He's always been there and always been overlooked because he's never been number 1. I don't even think he's been number 2. Right. Maybe one week he was number 2 or something. He's always just been there. Like, the Blue.
Him and the Whalers have always been at the top.
Yeah. But the Whalers was actually at the top. I mean, the Whalers was in first place for a while, and then when he lost the one, I think it was the game to you that made him no longer in first. And then ever since then, he was still always hanging around like at 2.
Yeah.
I mean, the Blues, like on this podcast, he's been overlooked the entire time.
Yeah. And he had a kind of to end the regular season. He didn't do very well.
Yeah, he lost to Wakanda last week. He was the one team out of the 4. I mean, because basically the 4 of us had run the table up until week 13. And one of the 2 of us had to lose because we were facing each other.
Mm-hmm.
And he was the other one to lose. So, and he always had so many less points that there was no question that he couldn't have edged any of us out on record. So he was just always there. Right. He was just always there.
Well, he also lucked out that the teams right behind him were always like 2 to 3 wins.
Yeah,
lower.
Yeah, he kept getting wins when the other ones were just terrible. Like, I mean, yeah, but I mean, look, his record up, going into the last week was the same as pretty much everybody else. I mean, you had one more than us brought down, and then he was one, but he was with the 3 of us.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so he deserves to be here. I mean, and I guess he doesn't deserve to be overlooked the way he does. I know that everybody else does.
Yeah, just his lack of points, though. Like, I mean, he has less points than Eugene. He has less points than Wakanda. He has less points than Nick and Jamie. Less points than the Hagglers. Less points than the Lightning Rods. I mean...
And last week he had less points than every team that played, including the consolation bracket, except for the team that he beat, and Eugene, and Zamunda.
I didn't even look at the consolation bracket to see how those teams performed.
The Monkeys ended up, they're peaking at just the wrong time.
142 for the Monkeys, Jesus.
I know, I don't know where that came from.
And how did the Hagglers do?
They were on a bye. They're on the bye in the loser bracket.
They were on a bye, but they put up 132.
Oh, yeah. Who cares? There is no more irrelevant game than the loser bracket. Geese can tell you.
Yeah, nobody gives a fuck about the losers bracket.
No. Which is how it should be.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, I mean, but, way to go, Blues. I mean, it continues to be a team that at least gets to be mentioned in this conversation. And they're certainly going to be mentioned in the conversation next week when they're in the finals. And especially since I gave him some bulletin board material. When I thought the Whalers was out of it, I said something like, oh, man, I can't believe we're going to have to play Nick and Jamie. I would have rather played the hobbled Blues. Well, I mean, look, I think everybody's going to score higher than me this week, just because my team is entirely hobbled. But I gave him some bulletin board material. I told the guy basically, can I go delete that? I told the guy I want to play him. You never go full retard. You never tell him you want to play him. Yeah. So that does it for the Wild. I mean, I guess did we go into the numbers? Yeah, nobody cares. The Blues move on. I mean, what else is there to say? I mean, you can't come back from the 180 to 180 greatest game in maybe center history and then be like, yeah, let's talk about the Blues and Wakanda and let me have any passion about this game whatsoever. I'm sorry, you just can't. I mean, good for the Blues who survived. And once again, nobody's paying attention to you. Maybe they'll finally pay attention. I mean, we had to pay attention to you when you stopped the entire auction for your pet project. But You're still here, despite the fact that you're like, I don't even know if I want to play anymore now that I didn't get my guy. Well, you're still here in fucking week 15 with basically the same goddamn lineup.
Yeah, that the computer chose.
Yeah, except Beckham's now on your bench because he doesn't even want to play for you. He wants to be traded out of St. Louis, even though he's about to be a runner-up, because I'm not giving him the championship. There's no way. There's no way. What?
First artificial intelligence champion? With assistant head coach 2, Matt Lombardi.
Would the $60 man rather play for the Blues or for Freddie Kitchens?
I don't know. Are you going to pay, does that mean that you would pay him in Bitcoin if he wins?
Cyberdyne Industries is going to win the championship.
Cryptocurrency.
I know. God. All right. I mean, we could take a, I think we already gave the loser bracket enough, whatever. The Monkeys beat the Crush 142 to 100. The Lightning Rods beat Zamunda 128 to 81. Which means that next week, Tillett plays the Monkeys and the Hagglers play the Lightning Rods in the loser bracket.
Oh,
wow, a little rivalry game between you two.
yeah,
The dumpster. It's great.
Yeah, and the Toasties in the Funyuns Bowl.
I think the winner of that game should get $5.
You could get some Funyuns for winning the Funyuns Bowl. All right. I have nothing.
We should make a rule in the loser. Not allowed to edit your lineups whatsoever. Somebody gets injured. Oh well.
I agree. I think that you should have. I don't know. That's why I'm glad. That's why I don't even want to give these teams attention, because I don't want to encourage anybody to be like, oh yeah, let me go get this one player that really could have been used by like somebody who's just bad, ready to win the championship. Somebody comes in with $190 bid for that guy because they're such a loser. They haven't spent a dime all season, but you know what? Fuck that guy. I'm out of it, but I'm still fucking out of a championship. Yeah, no. You shouldn't be able to edit your lineup. That's a better rule proposal than you have to wait until Thursday morning because the Raiders don't want to pay for better health insurance. All right. Well, I guess let's take a break. And after the break, we'll actually preview the semifinals and let you know who we think the finalists will be. All right, so we'll be back right after this. Time now, since we don't have any standings to go over. I mean, I guess we could go over some league transactions. Fuck you for Laird. You picked up the Buffalo defense for $6. That's interesting. We picked up Washington. I don't even remember the guy's first name. D. Washington for $19. What a tremendous waste of fictional money that could have been spent on Laird. And we picked up Slayton for $3. Just because I need receivers this week because I'm in desperate need. Then we ended up picking up David Johnson, dropping him, or Duke Johnson, sorry, dropping him, picking up Chris Thompson, seeing that Washington wasn't going to play, and then picking up Duke Johnson again. The Whalers dropped Wentz, ended up picking up Alan Hearns, and dropping Royce Freeman. So, I don't know. That's your latest updates. I know it's a shocker, but the Blues did not make any transactions.
You mean Cyberdyne?
Cyberdyne did not do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Well, he picked up Allen, quarterback.
Did he?
For $40. Yeah.
This week?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, look at that! Look at that! All right, the Blues is alive. Okay. Nick and Jamie, of course, dropped Calvin Ridley, who's on IR. Not that it matters. In their 5th place. What's below Funyuns? What's their bowl game like? So I guess it's Wakanda versus Nick and Jamie in the. Jesus, what's a shittier fucking snack than Funyuns? Combos. I think you could go Smarties.
Smart, yeah, that's pretty shitty.
That's pretty shitty. Or maybe just pennies and toothpaste bowl, like what they would
Milk
hand out.
Duds.
I like Milk Duds. They're fine.
Tootsie Rolls.
Ding dongs.
Coconut marshmallows.
What are like the rip-off candies of like the Skittles? Hey, there's Skittles in there.
Milk Duds. They're just not even Milk Duds. They're just done.
we I don't know. Maybe people can vote on whether or not you want it to be called the Milk Duds Bowl or the Hey, there's Skittles in there bowl. All right, so yeah, they're playing the 5th place game for absolutely no. I mean, could there be a more meaningless game?
The Zamunda game is pretty meaningless.
No, that's the Trey game. That's a meaningful game. What are you talking about?
Is it?
This is the Trey. This is the week that the Trey gets played for. The 11th place game. Zamunda versus Dave's Secret Crush.
So Dave's Secret Crush has made it all the way to the Trey. That was the goal all along. They made it?
Yeah, they're playing for the Trey this week.
It looked dicey for a while, but they made it to the Trey game. Holy shit.
I know. The Trey game is this week.
They're about to pick up another piece of hardware to add to
The champ is here.
play that at the new partners meeting.
Yeah, exactly. They could get a new piece of hardware this week. It's ready to be awarded. The Trey,
He worked
congratulations.
hard, dude. I lost track of what he was doing. He was set on the goal the whole time.
He made a beeline for it. He got in the game. He got beat by the Monkeys. I mean, who would have saw that? Jacobs, I guess, is gonna play. Fuck him. Mike Evans is doubtful. I mean, he's still got him in the lineup. I mean, he's making a run for that Trey. Let me tell you. I mean, not to be outdone by Zamunda. I mean, at least Connor's back, so I guess he'll play. He's got Adrian Peterson still playing. I think. I mean, Amendola. I think. Eugene might be the favorite to win the Trey. I think that's quite a feat. Champ to Trey.
He could call it trading places. With a Y.
This is the Milk Duds, the Tostitos Milk Dud Trey game. Like, my God.
Bugle.
This is the Bugle Bowl. I don't know. It's just the Trey game. It's the Trey game. Who do you favor in the Trey game? I think I'm favoring Eugene to lose. And when I say favor, who do you favor to lose? Because this is not about winning.
No, the champ goes all the way. He gets his ass kicked in this one.
I think so too. I'm picking.
So too. Yep.
Yep. and that will be a run like no other. All right.
Fun. Just as Zamunda starts to get healthy, he's in this game.
Yeah, yep. Zamunda has got 11th place locked up. It's a thoroughly, and that's an appropriate thing. It's a thoroughly forgettable season. Nobody.
Like, I'm looking at his lineup, and it's actually pretty decent. He has Kittle, he has Kamara, and they're healthy finally.
Yeah, Dak Prescott might do something.
Yep.
I think Zamunda will have a thoroughly unforgettable season. The winner of the Trey game is just completely unforgettable. It's just completely forgettable. The 11th place, you won the Trey game. Wow. There's nothing that stands. I mean, but the loser of the Trey game, wow. This is big. This is big. Monkeys versus Tillett. I don't know. Well, we'll go through the shitty games first. Monkeys versus Tillett. I don't care. I'm just gonna say Monkeys. Why not? And Hagglers versus Lightning Rods. Yeah, Hagglers, you could win. It's fine.
Yeah. Small revenge game. It's going to be a nail biter as always between these two teams.
Yeah. Please don't pick up anybody. I think that should be a rule, that after you're eliminated, for all these games, you have to play with the lineup that you have.
Period. Even if they all get injured, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, you gotta roll with it. I mean, at least throw some whatever into it.
Austin Hooper's healthy again.
Yeah. Maybe we could all chip in like a pack of Milk Duds and fun. Actually, maybe we should all just, when we send in our league dues, we could also mail in our shittiest candy of choice, and we'll let it fester for the entire season, and then whoever wins the tray game gets that served to them on the tray. Whatever the shitty bowl game that they win, or whatever it is. All right. Let's get to the real games. Do we want to start with the game that nobody's paying attention to, the AFC Championship game early in the day?
The 3:00 game.
Yeah, or whatever it is.
About.
Yeah, exactly. Like, all right, who's going to face the ultimate champ? All right, so the 1603ers are taking on the St. Louis Blues. Currently, as it stands, the 1603ers are favored 127.21 to 126.56. This lineup is completely in flux for the 1603ers, just waiting for medical diagnoses to see who will be in this game. The Blues has some injuries to go with, too. So let's look at the lineup. Lamar Jackson, Thursday night against the Jets. This is the kind of game that you would go, oh, well, he's going to clean up. He'll win the whole thing right there. But no, he's got a quad injury. And he's already said he's going to start, so there's like no question about that. But that's even worse, because is he only going to play like a quarter or two? As he pummels the Jets?
They'll probably be up 21-0 after the first quarter. So
exactly. So I mean, there are a couple of things that at least make it worthy of note. Where did I read some stuff. Let's go to the Twitter because I saw some stuff that went, well, maybe he'll actually try. I gotta get past the WrestleMania shitty, stupid quotes. What do I got here? I don't know. Somebody talk about something else while I look this up.
All right.
God. Fuck technology. I can't even see anything. He will... I definitely saw it today. If he gets like 40 yards or something.
Oh, who, Lamar? Yeah. He'll pass Vic.
Right, and if he gets another like whatever passing yards, there's like milestones to be gotten in this game for him. So maybe he'll play for that, and then he'll see while giving me an L. Yeah, I don't even care what it is, but he has some milestones to play for. And he wants to beat the Jets. That's probably going to happen pretty early. So, and then they'll play Robert Griffin and whatever. I mean, what am I going to do? What are you going to do? Why did he pick? I guess he picked up Allen just in case Mahomes can't go because he has a hand injury, but Mahomes already said that he's going. DJ Moore versus Seattle. Hopefully he stays healthy, but otherwise he should be fine. I picked up Slayton versus Miami. As long as Eli is still the quarterback, I think he'll be fine. And it looks like Danny Dimes is going to take another week off, hopefully. So we'll see. I'm okay with that. McCaffrey versus Seattle. McCaffrey should be fine. And then we get into the problem area of, okay. So we got Duke Johnson at Tennessee. Waller versus Jacksonville. I mean, Waller should do okay. I mean, he's been doing okay ever since the Renfro injury, which is what I said. And then Chris Thompson, finally healing from his turf toe, playing versus Philadelphia. And he's been okay. The Darius Geis injury makes him, worth something.
And then your fucking Korean kicker who put up
19
points.
18 points last week after the fuck up the week before. He finally made up for it. He's playing against San Francisco, though, so... I don't know. We'll see.
I thought Koreans only do math. They also score points in fantasy football. Come on.
It is math. The whole game
Jesus.
is math. It's the only thing that would have made...
The geometry of the polls.
had I been playing last week, that would have been the only thing that would have won me the game is him. And then Seattle against Carolina. I mean, there's not many defenses left at this point. And
Young Ho is your MVP this week.
Young Hoes are often my MVPs. As far as the injury-laden roster down at the bottom, so you got Christian Kirk, who mysteriously today now has an ankle injury. This happened around 2 o'clock my time. That was right after I got the notification about Westbrook having some kind of question. He went from healthy to questionable. It doesn't even say why. I don't even know what's going on. I don't know. Something happened. Who cares? I do. Devontae Parker still in the concussion protocol, but he at least wore a no-contact jersey. So that's a good sign, apparently. Advice. He was at practice. Whatever. It's a good sign. They're on the field early this week, but their statuses for Week 15 against the Giants remain completely up in the air. So we'll see. And Will Fuller with the constant hamstring injury. I don't care. Just fucking sit out. You're not playing this week. He was limited on Wednesday. I don't even want him to play. Don't strain it any further. Rest up that hammy for when you play Tampa Bay next week. Because whoever we play, we're either going to play the guy who's going to be throwing the ball against Tampa Bay, or we're going to be playing the other guy who, the other receiver on the other end who can take points away from DeAndre Hopkins. Or... well, we'll be playing one of those two teams, whether or not it's for first place or for third is the only question. But we will be playing one of those two teams. For the Blues, they have Mahomes versus Denver. I actually think that Mahomes... I mean, look, I hope that the hand injury is worse than it... whatever. Because Denver... didn't they just give up a shitload of points to, like, Trubisky last week? Am I wrong?
The Broncos put up a ton of points against...
No, he played Dallas last week.
They played Houston.
They played Houston, sorry, right.
Oh,
so
yeah.
that's where the, what do you call it? Deshaun Watson got those points. So, yeah, great. Mm-hmm. Fantastic. I mean, this is, I guess this is the kind of matchup that you go, well, Lamar versus Mahomes in a playoff game. That's going to, like the big, earlier in the season, you've been like, wow, that's a great playoff game, whatever. Both are injured. Both are playing terrible teams.
Harbacka, you're going to come up with a new stat category. How many times can you bungle first place? You better win.
I know. No, that's absolutely 100% true. I have more first place finishes than anybody in league history. And I have less championships than everybody. What?
It hasn't translated into a single championship.
I know. We're like the Cowboys. We can't play in December. We're Marty Schottenheimer. We're Dan Marino. Whatever the fucking is, it's unbelievable. Oh, it drives me nuts. And what's going to drive me extra nuts is that I will, whatever my score is next week, it's going to far outplay the two teams that are going to play in the championship as they pummel the Blues to take the ring. Oh, it's going to piss me off so much because all of these guys slipped on banana peels. Oh, Metcalf at Carolina. Metcalf has actually been steadily
better than
fine.
Lockett.
Better than Lockett, yeah. 11 and 13 the last 2 weeks. Hopefully he gets like a Philadelphia-like game with 6.5. Deebo Samuel. This guy's been okay. He's actually 15, 14, 13, 21, 19. He hasn't had a single-digit game since Week 9. He's playing against Atlanta, who likes to give it up. Aaron Jones, of course, the traded guy from Eugene, the one that quote-unquote saved his season. Well, let's see what kind of game he has. Last week he had 31. The week before he had 7, 3, 27, 3, 41, 18, 8, 49, 7. I don't know. Let's see. My guess, he's going to be somewhere in that 49 category rather than the 3.
Yeah, he either goes for 50 or he goes for 0, or like 3.
Well, I don't know why. I don't know why. I just happen to have an inkling that he's going to end up with the 49. Because he's fucking playing the 1603ers in a playoff game. Of course.
Well, hopefully Aaron Rodgers is throwing to him.
I don't even care. Breida, my former running back, coming back to bite me in the ass. He had 7 touches in the return. He had 6.8 points last week. But don't worry, because now that he's had a week under his belt, he's going to be ready to fucking go and beat his old team. God damn it. and he's playing Atlanta. Andrews, he isn't even playing, I don't think. Doesn't matter. He'll find a way to fuck me. He's questionable for Thursday. He's limited in
catch
practice.
3 touchdown passes from RG3.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what's going to happen. God, this week is going to piss me. Nothing good. Look, nothing good can happen from this week. I mean, yes, we can make the championship game and everything else, but as far as reputation goes, we can't bolster our reputation from this. Like, oh, wow, you beat the Blues, whatever. Like, oh, another championship game for Harbacken where you're going to go lose again. No, oh, yeah, whatever. But if we lose, oh, then all the haters and everybody comes out. Harbacken can't win the big one. He can't win anything. He sucks. God, this is like, I would rather almost not even play. I almost envy the hagglers at this point. Just sit on your laurels, enjoy some fucking movies and whatever the hell else, and video games, whatever else you do. God, this week is just going to stress me out for nothing.
Well, I think you want to be the Blues, just flying under the radar. No one expects you to do anything.
Yeah, I mean, oh my God. Oh, the guys that nobody thought that I could do anything. Nobody was paying attention to me. You fucked me in the draft because I was drunk and accidentally pressed a button. And nobody would shut down the entire league for me and turn over 5 picks. Oh, look at that. We overcame the struggle.
And accuse you of insider trading. Sweet revenge.
Yeah, oh, all this other shit. He's going to go fucking beat me. He's going to go 2-0 against me in the goddamn playoffs. He eliminated me one time. He's already beaten me in a game that he had no business beating me. I remember it actually vividly. I was parked near a bookstore in downtown LA. This was the season that Geese had already... I think this was the season that you took off, in fact. And I called you, or maybe it was the season that you just lost by... No, actually, it was the season that you lost, your first season where you lost by a game, by when the Lightning Rods beat you. I pulled over to the bookstore and I'm like, I can't believe I lost to this fucking loser team in the wild card round. I had a good team that year, too. Oh, God. It's going to piss me off. Keenan Allen versus Minnesota. Maybe they could do something. Keenan Allen, I mean, he's been getting consistent double digits. Dan Bailey against the Chargers. What has he been doing? Average. And the Baltimore defense. My former defense, by the way. Playing against Jets, the number 1 team in terms of giving up points. Last time they played the second most give up points teams, it was Cincinnati, and they got 24. Ooh, joy. This will be fun. Can't wait to see how many fucking turnovers the Jets do. Fuck me. So the question is, what is the spread that Lombardi's going to beat me by? Is it going to be like a close, frustrating game, or can I just pack it in on Sunday and just go, you know what, fuck it?
I mean, if I was a neutral, just looking at this game. You are a neutral. Well, I'd rather play the Blues, to be honest with you. I'm just so worried about Lamar and McCaffrey. I mean, they can go for, 80 to 90 points between the two of them if they're healthy.
So can Aaron Jones and Deebo
and next
Samuel.
Week, Lamar has Cleveland to probably clinch home field, so they'll need to play. And then McCaffrey
doesn't have to play.
The Colts. I mean,
fine. You're not neutral. I know you're always rooting for your team. Don't worry. Won't it piss you off if the Blues come in there and just beat you? You rooted for that team.
Well, this week I'm gonna have to pick the Blues just based on who they got, and with the question marks of Lamar's injury. And we don't know how, Chris Thompson I don't really trust. I like his defense more than yours. I think Jones against Chicago is a good matchup. Samuel against Atlanta is excellent. And Mahomes against Denver, I mean, if his hand injury isn't that bad. So I'd have to give a slight edge to him.
Let me ask you this. If Parker is cleared to play, does that change things at all?
So you would put him in instead of Slayton or Thompson?
Instead of Thompson, though, I might put Thompson at the RB2, take out Duke Johnson, and play him in the flex. He would play in the flex. He's not coming.
See, honestly, if I were you, I would keep Duke Johnson as the RB2 and then take Thompson out and put Parker in.
I mean, that might happen too. I don't know.
Is that the ex-Hagler, Chris Thompson?
Yeah, he
Still
finally,
alive at the play?
he got over the turf toe. Chris Thompson is actually really good when he plays, and Geis is now injured. He's on IR. So it's just Adrian Peterson, who the Redskins hate to give the ball to, and Chris Thompson. I think Chris Thompson actually has a decent game.
What's Westbrook's injury?
I don't know. Banana peel. A sprain of the lower banana peel.
Honestly, I would rather have Westbrook or Parker in there instead of Thompson or Slayton. So if those two guys play, I would put those guys in.
Sure. And then do you think we would win, or do you still think we're going to lose?
I think he's trying to make you lose.
If you put those two guys in, I would pick you.
Interesting. I'm not going to do it, but okay. Nice mind games, Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan Booger.
Obi-Wan Booger. Booger-Wan Kenobi.
Booger-Wan Kenobi.
Boogie-Wan Cannoli over here. I would put Geis in instead of Tom.
Let's go to the NFC Championship game.
Can I at least get a prediction out of Geese? Anything? He's actually a neutral.
Okay.
I neutrally don't care who wins that game.
I know. So who do you think will?
I'd say I can't go with the insider trading whiner. That's how Backen wins it. He wants to move the free agent bidding deadline to Thursday. I mean, the most ridiculous things Lombardi wants to do. He's Kanye.
Does he want
nonsense.
to move it to Thursday morning or Thursday after the Thursday night game?
Yeah,
let's make it even worse. Like you don't even get the option for the Thursday night game.
Thursday after Lombardi's done picking is when it's over. Whenever that is.
In fact, if we could just move it up for 11 of the 12 teams, that would be perfect. All
right, enough of the Chargers-Patriots AFC Championship game at 3 o'clock that no one watches.
It's not even Chargers-Patriots. This is more like, I'm telling you, the Natron means like Colts Chargers, or maybe Pittsburgh Chargers. I think that went on a couple times, or Colts Pittsburgh. Yeah, whatever.
Colts
okay.
Denver. Yeah. Okay, let's go to the Green Bay Seattle NFC Championship game.
God, you're so young. These are your references. I mean, clearly you go with Dallas, San Francisco, Green Bay, Dallas. But whatever, that's fine. You were like in diapers at the time. It's just a reminder of how fucking old we are. Whatever.
I've never been around when Dallas was good. They're just an accident waiting to happen right now.
God.
So, Jerry Jones.
I remember them being good, and I hated every moment of it. Okay. Just like I hate every moment of the
Patriots.
No, of just the fantasy league. The results, the winners thus far. I have to live through Eugene and whoever fucking wins this game to be the champion. All right. So the projection right now is 140 to 137.17 in favor of Hackettstown's finest. Feeling good about that? Let's see. Aaron Rodgers versus Chicago. Well, there's some history here. So the first time they played, he got 14.92 points. That was at Chicago. Now he's going to be at home. Do we have a weather report? Sunny. Looks like it's going to be sunny in Green Bay. Okay. DeAndre Hopkins at Tennessee. I mean, look, this is advantageous for you because Deshaun Watson will be throwing to him, so you could take some points away from there. And usually receivers actually get more because they get the points per reception. Emmanuel Sanders versus Atlanta. That's a good matchup right there. Although he's been wildly inconsistent, but
yes.
I did get 36 against New Orleans, and Atlanta likes to give it up as well. So I do think that that's a reasonably good play. I think that's maybe your riskiest move, though. I mean, who else are you going to play?
Well, he's the Aaron Jones of my team.
Sure.
He'll either go for 35 or he'll go for 3.
Right. Nick Chubb at Arizona. So you're going with Chubb and not Hunt. What happened last week? I didn't even pay attention. Let's see.
Hunt outscored him by like 2 points.
Yeah, and this is Arizona. Whatever. Gurley at Dallas. What did Gurley do? I mean, I read something that they're going to feature him way more. So I actually think that Gurley will be okay in this game. Kelsey versus Denver. I think he will have a good game in this one. Landry, who's listed as questionable. What's his questionable? Do we know?
It's the Yahoo shenanigans.
Okay.
It'll be
but
off.
he's going against Arizona. I think that he'll score a lot, especially now that Odell Beckham decided that he doesn't want to play for the Blues. Elliott, who also, by the way, in that Whalers game last week, missed a field goal. He just loves to miss them on Monday night. So beware of the Elliott. And Buffalo at Pittsburgh on Sunday night. I mean, I don't love the defense, but I mean, like we said, there's not really many options out there. For the Whalers, Deshaun Watson at Tennessee. I think he'll have a good game. I think that'll be a shootout, and I think he'll have a good game. Michael Thomas versus Indianapolis. I think he'll have a good game. Allen Robinson at Green Bay. I think he'll have a good game. I mean, this guy's been ridiculous lately. Although it's been the last 3 weeks. Prior to that, meh. But he's still been good. I think that he has a good game. Melvin Gordon.
He's been very good lately, too.
He has been. I mean, well, we said this when Lombardi made the dumbass trade. Don't worry, Whalers will get to face his old nemesis in the championship game. So we already replaced Singletary. Oh, no, sorry. Singletary's playing whatever. At Pittsburgh. That's going to be a tough game. But, I mean, you can't argue with Singletary's numbers. So, I mean, I think that's the right play. Ertz at Washington. I mean, Philadelphia has no receivers. Like, none. We saw it on display, and that's why he was able to get 30 points last week. So, I mean, Ertz is going to have a great game. He's going to keep pace with Kelsey. Lockett at Carolina. He has not been good lately. Maybe he gets a rebound game against Carolina. Tucker versus the Jets. He should get a bunch of extra points. Minnesota at the Chargers. It's interesting. He's not playing Nixon, even though he's playing against New England. So I understand.
Because they have the signals.
They have all the signals. He picked up Alan Hearns, which is interesting. I actually.
Well, that's because if Devontae Parker doesn't play,
he also picked up Sterling Shepard. I don't know. I might actually. I might go with this lineup. I don't know if I would. I don't know if I would replace anybody on this, because just of the matchups there. But I think that the matchups that he actually has are really good. This comes down to what kind of game does Emmanuel Sanders have, and what kind of game does Tyler Lockett have.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, I think Ertz will outplay Kelsey. I think that Watson will outplay Rodgers. It's a question.
Well, I'm honestly thinking of starting Fitzpatrick against the Giants. Because the Chicago defense could be pretty good.
They could be, and they were against Aaron Rodgers last time, and it is the Giants, but it's at New York. I mean, what's the weather supposed to be like? You live in New York. You know the forecast.
I'm going to Cancun this weekend.
I don't think that's going to affect Fitzpatrick's play. I don't care what the weather is in Cancun. I care what it is in New Jersey. For the Dolphins, who will not be in a warm weather climate.
It is partly cloudy and 44 degrees.
Yeah, they could play that. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know what you play there. I mean, because Aaron Rodgers can actually play in cold weather, though.
Right.
I don't know what I mean,
because Rodgers has had 3, 30-plus point games, but then he's also had 10-point games.
But so is Fitzpatrick. So I don't know. I mean, but I think that look, on paper, certainly the matchup is better for Fitzpatrick. You can't deny
the last
that.
3 weeks, he's had 29, 33, and 15.
Yeah, you don't want the 15.
So. Yeah, but, I mean, 2 out of the 3 weeks he's had, really good performances.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think it's a difficult decision that you're going to have to make. I don't actually know which way I would go. I just know that I watched last week's games and I saw 2 coaches make quarterback bench blunders. So try not to do that again this week. Hopkins versus Thomas. I think Thomas edges him out, but the Hopkins thing helps you in terms of Watson will be throwing to him. Like I said, Allen Robinson will do well. Emmanuel Sanders can beat him, or he could just be a complete bust. Chubb versus Gordon, I think it's relatively even. Gurley versus Singletary, I actually give the edge to Gurley. I give the edge to Ertz over Kelsey because there's nobody else to throw to. I give the edge to Landry, presuming he plays against Lockett. Tucker versus Elliott, I don't even know. Whatever. And the defense, I give the edge to Minnesota. But, I mean, not by a lot. I don't think...
Pittsburgh, they don't really have a great
85-yard touchdown. What? Sorry?
Pittsburgh doesn't really have a great, quarterback. So, and Buffalo can play some defense. So I'm relying on some turnovers. I think that'll be a low-scoring kind of defensive battle.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, exactly. I don't think that you're going to give up a lot of points. I think you'll hover around the 10 for that. And in Minnesota, 85-yard touchdown. Did you see that? I love that.
No, I didn't.
So
Phillip Rivers, he'll throw like 3 picks on screen passes.
Oh yeah, he does that all the time. But I'm just saying, so Phillip Rivers, he got knocked down and he threw like some touchdown, and the guy helps him up, and then he just goes in his face and goes 85-yard touchdown. And he's like, really, man? I just not now. It's hilarious. Go look it up after this. This is a tougher one to pick.
Close game. But
I mean, you would be the second place team to not make the finals if you didn't win this. That, for once, is actually not me. That's Eugene. You'd also be the first Hackettstown team to ever lose in the playoffs. There's some pressure riding on this for you.
Would that be the first-year team to make the finals?
I mean, other than Nick and Jamie and the Whalers.
Like I said, you ask this every week.
I ask the same question every week.
The first-year team to ever make the finals is the first year we've ever played.
Right. But over that.
Okay.
I don't know.
It's a pick'em.
I think the Whalers just has so much momentum on their side. I like how, it's like, you ever watch the movie Miracle?
Yeah.
Where at the end, they beat the Russians and everything, and then they have to go win the gold medal game against Finland or whatever it is. And he's like, if you don't win this game, you're going to take it to your fucking grave. Your fucking grave. And I feel like that's the kind of speech that Whalers are going to give to his team going into this game.
Are you comparing the Finest to the Russians or to the Finnish?
I'd like to compare you to your Finnish.
I just hope I'm not finished.
That's what I'm saying. You're certainly not the Russian. I mean, maybe you're Finnish.
But if you have to, probably the way I've ran my mouth, you can compare me to the Soviets, I guess. But
I don't think the Soviets so much ran their mouth as much as they just murdered people.
True. Well, I do root for injuries, so I guess
you do root for injuries. That's true. That is like that. I don't know. I mean, clearly you're picking yourself. I mean, anything else? I mean, because I'm sure the Whalers has been sitting at home listening to this podcast with his bulletin board out, ready to just put little clips on there as he stares at it like Robin Williams in a 1 hour photo. And you haven't given him enough. Come on, give him some more. Are you scared? Are you scared, Marv?
I am. I am a little bit scared. This is probably the toughest team in the league to beat. So,
not the Blues? Really? The Blues is at home crying right now. The algorithm is very upset.
Well, you know how I feel about your team. I only fear those 2 guys.
Right.
The rest of the team, I don't.
The rest of the team that beat you in the last week, I know.
Yeah, exactly. But just like the Blues Wakanda game, it's going to be different when it matters.
Of course. Of course.
So, But I mean, the Whalers from top to bottom, and like just looking at their bench too. I mean, it's loaded.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, look, and they can't even play Mixon this week because he's playing against New England. But next week, totally different story. If he gets to the finals, I mean, he's playing Miami. I mean, like, Jesus Christ. I mean, God, I don't think I can root for the finest. I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, like, as far as my pick'em, I actually do think that the Whalers is gonna win only because, and the only reason I say this is because he doesn't have players that have you have players that have a lower floor. Now, I would not be surprised if you win if they reach their ceilings, but his players have a higher floor. So provided that you know, and look, anybody can go off in one of these games. I mean, who knows? But provided that there's more risk for you, so I just think because of that, the Whalers.
Yeah, the base level. You know, like you can expect the Whalers to get 140 to 150 every week.
Right.
No doubt. But
because you're going to need a performance out of Sanders.
Right.
And I don't know, and Landry and Rogers. There's more question marks. I mean, Whalers can just kind of. He's also playing with house money at this point. He was friggin' dead.
Yeah.
He was eliminated. It's just like whatever. This is all gravy. At this point, he's playing loosey goosey. You know, whatever.
I mean, I can rely on my guys to get me 10 to 15 every game, but I feel like the Whalers, they always have guys that go for 30 or 40 every single week.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, look, Yahoo picked them to be the best team. Let's see if Yahoo was right.
Yeah. But then again, I outscored them during the regular season.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it was close, but yeah.
It was. And that's the only reason why I had to buy.
And you beat him when you played him, right? What was that?
Right.
What was the result of that? When did you guys play each other?
It was like week
6 or something. No, it was
7.
Week 7.
I beat him 144 to 108.
Oof. What happened to that Whalers team? That's no longer. I mean,
well, Ertz only had 5.8. Green Bay defense only had 3 points.
That was when Melvin Gordon just came back. Singletary, I think he just came back. Yeah.
Allen Robinson had 24 points, but he was on his bench.
Yeah. You can't judge anything based on that.
Oh, that was the week I had Rodgers and Edmonds on my bench. Who went for 90 points and outscored some teams that week.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Although it's also like Whalers seems to get there every other year. This is an off year for him. He kind of alluded to that in the Facebook posts. I don't know. But I have to just based on his
current form.
Based on his floor, I have to pick him.
Okay. Well, what do you say, Geza?
Which means I'll be seeing you in the third place game next week.
Can't root against the Hackettstown team. I have to pick Manny.
Wow, look at you being magnanimous.
Really? All right.
It'll be weird to see a Hackettstown team in the finals and not be me.
I don't think you're gonna have to worry about that. I think you're gonna have a Blues Whalers final, the collusion bowl, the phony collusion bowl. Oh my God, Scottco beating down his own player. This is like the ultimate, gift for him. Jesus, it's disgusting. It's disgusting. I'm disgusted by it. Like, who do you even root for in that? I mean, you have to root for the Whalers, I guess. Ugh. I mean, we could have one of the highest rated Center Bowl or championship games in history. Frankly, like if my team makes it, or if the Whalers, if it's me versus Whalers, everybody wants to know who wins that. If it's me versus Manny, everybody wants to see Manny lose. But if it's Blues Whalers, nobody wants to see
the server to just go down.
I know nobody wants to see that. That's the only.
Even you might be rooting for injuries.
Oh God, I don't even. Ugh.
You're rooting for the draft.
Yeah, exactly. Just and Like, the Jets just end the season. Just hand out whoever's trophy we got to fucking hand out. I guess
So
if
it's you and me in the final next week, do we even need to post a podcast? Would anyone listen?
Yeah, they listen.
They listen?
They listen.
Okay.
I don't think not everybody is as narcissistic and selfish as you. Maybe I'll do one with the Whalers. But it's, no, I don't know. I would love. I don't think it's. I just don't. I need shit to happen to St. Louis. But even though I feel like I'm certainly overmatched by the Whalers at this point, I would love to see a 1603ers Whalers matchup. That would just be fun. I think that would be fun for the whole league.
It wouldn't be that fun for me.
I mean, for 9 or for 10 out of the or 11 out of the 12 teams. I don't know. But I think that you would certainly be a draw too. It's really up to me. If the Blues are in there, or the Blues versus the Finest,
That's probably the worst combo for you guys.
Oh my God! Oh my God! Do I have to root for the Finest?
That's honestly what I want to see. That's what I want.
Plus, here's the thing: there's no excitement to the game. Nobody's picking the Blues. The only way that game could get exciting is if at some point on that Sunday, on that championship Sunday, somebody's like, holy shit, the Blues is winning this thing? What the fuck? As Eugene jumps out the window of his office building because he no longer is the dominant figure there. I don't know. Whatever.
What was my result against the Blues?
Does it matter? You beat them. We know who you lost to. You only lost to Nick and Jamie and to me.
Yep.
If the Blues wins it all and then Eugene wins the tray.
There's just going to be hardware strewn about that office. Excuse me, sir. Can you pass my trophy to me on the tray right now? Could you deliver the trophy to me that you had last year to me on the tray, please? Yes, sir. Oh, God. I don't know. I think, I would normally actually root for the Blues, I think. But this year, he's just been so not root-worthy. I think in the past, I would have been, in the past, you would have been just oh, Lombardi. I mean, he's finally coming up. He's finally, look at this guy. He's been around forever. He might get his first championship. I think it's the kind of thing you root for. He's just made himself so annoyo that I feel like I would have to root for the Whalers or Hackettstown at this point. Ugh. I hope I win. I hope I win for ratings. You should all want that in your collective bargaining. We would get better ratings and more television revenue if we win. all of you, send your vibes my way.
I mean, you've made it clear all year that you don't want me to win.
Nobody wants you to.
Some first-year team to come in and just crash the league.
Nobody wants that, obviously. And am I wrong? Is there anyone? I mean, maybe Geese, because he wants his fellow Hackettstowner to win. That's it. At this point, I mean, Geese, you got to be sitting there going. I mean, because I know you were rooting for Nick and Jamie, they were your guys. At this point.
Now that they lost, I mean, it's just pointless to listen.
Yeah, you notice how since we're talking about my game, I'm not falling asleep.
Of course, see, he doesn't even stay awake when we're not talking about his game. I mean, we could have
played an extra 15 bonus minutes in the last podcast.
Exactly. Oh my God. Will you listen? That's the better question. Will you listen if you're not in it?
Oh, hell no.
You're not even going to be here? Hey, you do have a third place game. And actually, the third place game does mean something. It means whether or not you get, your entry fee back. It's not the Tostitos Funyuns Bowl. It's actually something. We do give it some courtesy.
I won my money back pretty much in the 10 wins that I got all season. So
well, it's only 50, son. You still are 15 short.
So do you get 65 in addition if you win the third place game? Oh, okay.
Yes, you get 50 plus 65, 110 you would get. Or one, no, sorry, that's terrible math. 65, what is it, 115, you would get 115.
115. And then what does the second place team get?
100, so if it was you, you would get 150.
150, okay. And then the
don't
winner?
I don't know the math. It's more than that. I don't know. Whatever's the remaining in the pot, I don't know.
Okay.
But basically, you could already... Well, no, you can't, because the third place loser gets nothing. So you can't really cash anything. The only thing you could take out a loan out on is your $50.
Right. All right, so yeah, I got to win one of the next two games to win some money.
Exactly.
All right.
And I just need to win the next one just to... it would just be... I loathe the idea of losing to the Blues on so many levels. I'm like...
You definitely have more pressure on you than me or the Whalers.
Yeah, because the loser of that game goes, oh, I got beaten by a really good team. You know, what are you going to do?
Right.
I walk out of here and I'm like, I fucking lost to the Blues just because I had a bunch of injuries. Oh my God. This is just a terrible week. Please let me survive. I just want to be a finalist. I'd love to win it all. I've been dying to win one of these things. But this is a year that I honestly just get me there. Please.
Yeah.
Please. We get there every other year. I mean, of course, this is going to break the streak, and fucking Blues is going to get there. Ugh, disgusting. Whalers Blues final. Actually, that's my prediction. If you look at my picks is a Whalers Blues finals. In other words, a Whalers championship. All right.
All right, we'll see what happens. It should be an interesting week.
I look forward to, maybe meeting you next week. Certainly, I hope it's in the championship game if it happens.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that.
And geez, only one more of these.
Yep.
I mean, maybe. I mean, we always say we'll do a post-championship one. We're terrible at that, but we'll see if we could do one. We'll hold out hope. Keep hope alive. Maybe we'll try to do it. I'll do it if the winner agrees to come on the show and sing the song.
Well, I will if I win.
Are you gonna sing the song? Do you know the song? The Randy Watson.
I don't, but I'll learn it when the time comes.
Oh God! Watch Coming to America. if the Blues win, I'll just type it into one of those, speak to English translators and make the computer start singing the song for Cyberdyne. I believe the children are our future. All right, I got nothing else.
All right.
Well, good luck this week.
All right.
Yeah, this is it. Final Four. Exciting. This is we get to know who's gonna new champ. Never before won the league, and we'll get to see which two get to have the opportunity to do that. This is exciting week. So.
Yep. Yep.
All right.
You
All right.
Feel the excitement.
So.
All right. So see you next
All
week.
right.
Good luck, everybody.
Yeah, great. Good luck, guys.
All right.
Thanks.
Bye.